Eric Sims.
Courtney Hughes. Ashley Darno. Jennifer Hamilton.
Ryan Asher.
Jonah Fesco.
And I'm Leah McGinn. Flying as we know it today is an everyday thing. You can book a flight in less than 10 minutes and it's not a big deal. You hop on and you're maybe on the plane for an hour and you're halfway across the country. Back in the 1920s and 1930s, when flying was not an everyday commodity, this was not the case. It would take 21 hours to go from here all the way across the sea, across the Atlantic Sea. Amelia Earhart fell in love with flying in this time period. It was a revolutionary field that was still being explored, and technology back then was definitely not up to today's standards. For a woman to be so interested in a field that was so dominantly male and unexplored, it was a big deal, and it was somewhat taboo at the time. Amelia Earhart became a household name throughout her determination, courage, and inspiring acts. She was determined to fly ever since she took her first flight. She did whatever she could do. According to biography.com's early life and career article of Amelia, in her late teens she worked for the Red Cross as a nurse's aide in World War I, where she met fighter pilots and became fond of the aviation field. She took her first plane ride in 1920 at an airfield show, and from there she did whatever she could do to become a pilot. She actually reached out to other females who had their pilot's license and became she took lessons from them and eventually got her pilot's license. But eventually, after flying thousands of miles in May 1923, she got her pilot's license. She always managed to find a plane to fly. She had a lot of financial issues in her life where she could never really hold on to a job that she really found interesting. And eventually, in 1921, she bought a two-seater biplane that she nicknamed the Canary because it was painted bright yellow. She had it for quite a few years until eventually financial troubles caught up to her again and she had to sell it and was left grounded. But maintaining her goal, she joined the American Aeronautical Society when she moved to Boston, Massachusetts, and also became a sales representative of Kenner Aircrafts and flew through them. These ventures led her to become a consultant and counselor of careers for women at Purdue University, where the university gave her a Lockheed Electra she called the flying laboratory because of the advanced technology. A lot of it she actually didn't even know how to use at the time. So it took a lot of courage for her to go through and do all of these things, especially in the 20s where it wasn't really accepted for women to do this. She was very courageous throughout her achievements. She was the first female who went over 14,000 feet in the air, which was a record, and stood for a few years after that. But from there, she went on. In 1932, she flew by herself across the Atlantic Ocean from Newfoundland to Ireland. And she received a gold medal from the National Geographic Society for her journey. She was the first person to fly from Hawaii all the way over to the mainland in 1935, and eventually she had a dream of flying around the world and do an equatorial adventure, which led to her disappearance in 1937. Through the determination and courage she displayed in her early career, she became known in the media as a female pioneer. She became inspirational. The media caught on to her after her first cross-Atlantic journey, and she was internationally known. when she lived in Boston, Massachusetts, and was part of the Aviation Aeronautical Society, she would write articles and she would publish them, and it kind of brought interest into the aviation field, and especially for women it was a big deal. It opened up a lot of ventures that were dominantly male, not just the aeronautical and aviation areas. Throughout all of the hurdles that she had to overcome, the financial and the turmoil for being a woman, she became a household name regardless of her perseverance, through her perseverance and refusal to give up. She strived to do what she wanted to do and achieved her dreams, even though it led to her death, but she still did. She died doing what she loved.
Eric Sims.
Brittany Hughes. Ashley Darnell.
Jennifer Hamilton.
Ryan Usher.
Jonah Fesco.